Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 1st, 2019 Jurupa Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Roll call, please.
President Garcia.
Here.
Trustee Ortega.
Here.
Trustee Bradford.
Here.
Trustee Char.
Here.
Trustee Rego.
Here.
Camille Amicio.
Here.
Jedi Hernandez absent. Jasmine Lake.
Here.
Thank you. Elsa, would you please lead us in the flag salute tonight? And before you all sit down, have a moment of silence, so if you'd remain standing.
Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. At this time, I would like to hold a moment of silence for Mr. Philip Chacon, a retired employee who passed away on March 7th. Mr. Chacon worked as a crossing guard at Sky Country Elementary School from 2007 to 2018 when he retired. The board would like to express their condolences to the Chacon family. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, on to our inspirational comment. Mrs. Rego.
This couldn't be more perfect for any board member than me. Like the queen of puns, and on April 1st, I get to deliver the inspirational speech. So thank you. As life moves quickly, we tend to get caught up with the responsibilities and lose sight of the fun side of life. Today, we recognize a tradition of April Fools that dates back to the 1700s of pranks, jokes, adding puns, or simply finding something silly to share. This will include more smiles. A smile will activate neural messaging that benefits your body and happiness. These results will lower your heart rate, blood pressure, and relax your body. Did you know that laughter decreases stress hormones, increase immune cells, and infection-fighting antibodies? With endorphins promoting an overall sense of well-being, we can remind ourselves that laughter is the best medicine. So I'm going to try to give a joke here to the student cabinet members, and if I cannot make anybody in this room laugh, I will keep my day job. So student cabinet members, what do mathematics teachers like to eat? Pie. I did get some chuckles, thank you. Okay, so no matter how corny, we can all use a smile or a laugh. Life is serious. Work is work. We need to remind ourselves to smile, laugh more, add puns, just for fun, and enjoy each and every day with the best medicine we can give ourselves. I sincerely hope this tidbit of information can inspire you to share a smile, laugh more, and view life in a happier, healthier way. So thank you for your help.
Thank you, Mrs. Rego. Okay, reports from closed session. Mr. Brooks.
There's nothing to report, sir.
Thank you. Item number 1, welcome 2018-2019 student board members. Mr. Duchan.
I wish I knew Trustee Regal was going to have a joke for you. I might have come more prepared other than to just introduce you, but we are very happy to have you here. So let's start with Jurupa Valley High School. Camille.
Good evening. The Jags are kicking off the new month of April by wishing our JV chess juniors good luck on the CASP testing coming up these next few weeks. Also, the JAG class councils are looking forward to the upcoming last rally of the year. The theme for this last rally will be Alice in Wonderland. Seniors are looking forward to preparing the last rally, which will most certainly be a mad tea party. There is an upcoming show presented by our beginning theater class called Vampires, Zombies, and Werewolves, oh my. There will be 2 showings, one this Thursday at 3 p.m. and the other Friday at 6 p.m. Advanced Theater is presenting their spring play on April 19th at 3 p.m. and April 20th at 6 p.m. called Bloody Murder, a murder mystery comedy. Seniors and juniors this month are also preparing for their prom. This year's prom is themed Midnight Mystery, a masquerade ball. Prom will take place at the end of this month on Friday, April 27th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Mitten Building venue in Redlands. Other senior events coming up include the Sealed by Literacy Showcase at Patriot High School on April 13th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., which senior applicants will receive their award recognition for biliteracy in English and Spanish. April 16th, seniors are scheduled to receive their cap and gowns at school. And on April 22nd, the Riverside County Student Academic Awards event will be held at the Riverside Convention Center to recognize the county's top academic high school students. And in sports, the JVHS track and field team will have a meet against Patriot this Thursday at 3 p.m. at Patriot. The boys tennis team is scheduled to play Hillcrest on Wednesday at home and Ramona on Friday at 3:15 p.m. And girls softball and boys varsity baseball team both have games this Friday starting at 3 p.m. at home. We wish these Jacks good luck. This concludes today's report for JVHS. Thank you.
Thank you so much. From Riverdale High School, Jasmine.
Good evening, fellow board members. As we all know, our spring break has come to an end, and I hope you all had a good one. The month of March was filled with fun activities. There was Club Food Week and March Madness. The winners in our March Madness ended up being staff members Roberto Corella and Abraham. An interesting fact is that both individuals are basketball coaches. They were able to conquer their opponents, who were Aaron Weiland and Jesse Acuna, two basketball players from our school. Then there were volunteer hours for members of the National Honor Society, who received around 3 hours each visit by supervising the children and parents who were attending the PK classes. After 8 weeks of parents assisting, they were given a graduation ceremony. Then we had Pie Day, where pie was being thrown at staff members who volunteered to get pied. It was windy this day, so it kind of like they made a lot of money because they kept missing. And then there was also an Irish culture celebration, which had a positive outcome. Lastly, one of our swim meets at RHS was rescheduled and canceled against Indian Springs High School due to terrible weather. There was lightning. Well, there was a plane and lightning. Just sounded like lightning. And then upcoming events for April is the junior and senior prom that will be hosted in the Fox Theater, as well as the spring rally, which is in less than a month for the preparations for the rally. And then our theme is Soaring Through California, which consists of falcons being placed at different well-known locations as if we were on tour. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
And thank you. It's a pleasure to have and an honor to have you both here. Excuse me.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, on to number 2, recognition. 2A, recognize best of the best for January, February, and March. Employee recognition. Mrs. Hernandez.
President Garcia, trustees, and Mr. Duchan, it's an honor to present to you the best of the best honorees and honorable mentions for January, February, and March 2019. The committee took a look at many nominations around the district, and it was with great pleasure to share that our best of the best with you tonight. I will ask each of them to come forward as I call their names. Our first recipient is our very own Vitas. Vitas is a computer support technician for the district. He is nominated for his exceptional quality of service that he provides. He supports and assists staff with multiple technological questions, concerns, and issues. Vitas is patient and quick to find solutions. Vitas has a very quick response time. I know he showed up at Granite Hill once at 6:45 in the morning when I sent him an email 15 minutes before. Vitas has a very quick response time, and when someone sends a help ticket, which is much appreciated by everyone that he assists. He is appreciated and represents one of Jurupa's best of the best. Congratulations. Our next recipient tonight is Lilia Guillen. Miss Lilia Guillen is a bilingual tutor at Ina Arbuckle Elementary. Miss Guillen was nominated for Going Above and Beyond.
She has a natural ability to know how to assist with students' needs. Ms. Guillen is known to provide resources, materials, and ideas to support students that thrive when lessons are differentiated. She shows kindness and care to students, staff, and parents. Ms. Guillen is an exceptional employee and deserves recognition for going above and beyond. Congratulations, Ms. Guillen. Our next recipient tonight is Sandra Rainsbury. Miss Sandra Rainsbury is a secretary at Jurupa Middle School. Sandra is a critical member of the front office team at JMS. She's an excellent communicator and always assists parents, staff, and students with a positive attitude. Miss Rainsbury is a master at multitasking and always has a smile on her face. Her professionalism is amazing, but with her personality is what really makes the JMS office a wonderful place to be. She is a terrific representation of Jurupa's best of the best. Congratulations, Sandra. Sorry, I gave you 2 minutes. There you are. Thank you. Our next recipient is Corinne Ortiz. Corinne Ortiz is our literacy teacher on special assignment. Corinne works directly with teachers and principals to support JUSD's literacy efforts. Corinne can be often found at her desk after hours. Don't tell personnel. Preparing to support schools, analyzing data, and searching for and providing literacy resources. She is regularly invited into classrooms because she is trusted. She has a way of finding out someone's understanding of literacy by genuinely caring about the person and literacy. Corinne then helps our teachers feel safe trying new strategies and by making connections. If anyone has had the pleasure of working with Corinne, they would all agree that she is like a ray of sunshine on a rainy day. She is an outstanding employee and a terrific person. Congratulations, Corinne. Our next recipient is Alex Rangel. Mrs. Rangel is a teacher at Peralta Elementary. She is a prime example of a fun, caring, and loving teacher who goes above and beyond to make sure her students have every opportunity to be successful. Ms. Rangel coordinates the school's yearly career day with finesse by developing and maintaining relationships with 40 to 50 community members who come to volunteer their time. She makes sure that all visitors are welcome and is constantly working behind the scenes to help whenever she can. Ms. Rangel is an intervention teacher who always goes above and beyond for the staff and students. She works so hard at ensuring that Peralta's most struggling primary readers have all the tools that they need. She is known to use songs, hand gestures, tools, or whatever is necessary to make sure that her students learn. We are happy to have her as part of the Jurupa family. She's truly one of the best of the best. Congratulations. Our next recipient is Helena Scher. Ms. Scher is a teacher at Jurupa Valley High School. As the theater director at JVHS, which we heard a little about from Camille just a few minutes ago, Ms. Scher teaches students to perform, but also all of the other important parts of theater, such as teaching students to run the performances, promote events, sell tickets, and make programs. She has 2 theater groups and puts on a minimum of 4 shows per year. In addition to her classes, Ms. Scher is the impact team leader for the VAPA department, advises the dance and improv team, the drama club, and has been an amazing help to the choir this year. Some of her colleagues wonder if or when she has time to sleep. She is very well liked by both staff and students and handles challenges with grace and humor. Miss Cher is a superstar and truly one of Jurupa's best of the best. Congratulations. Our next recipient is Mr. Brandon Burr. Mr. Brandon Burr is a high school assistant principal at Rubidoux High School. Mr. Burr is kind and supportive of staff and students. He is a great listener and demonstrates on a daily basis that he truly cares. Most mornings, Mr. Burr can be seen standing at the parking lot gate welcoming both students and staff as they enter the campus. He makes a point to make eye contact and greet each person. He is always professional and maintains a caring and respectful demeanor. Mr. Burr brings positivity to the campus, and his dedication to the staff and students is admirable. Thank you, Brandon, for being such a vital part of the Jurupa family. At this time, I'd like to also recognize those employees selected for honorable mention. If they are here, will you please stand at your seats when I call your name? Susie Aguirre, from the Principal's Secretary at Tross Street Elementary. Maria Hernandez, Instructional Aide for Head Start Preschool at Pacific Avenue. Anthony Rosales, Computer Support Assistant here at the Ed Center. Sherry Stoddard, Activity Supervisor and Health Clerk Aide at Glen Avon. Jennifer Todd, Instructional Materials Technician at the Textbook Warehouse. Maria Vasquez, Activity Supervisor from Pacific Avenue. Esther Askew, Bilingual Resource Teacher here at the Ed Center. Griselda Huzar, Special Education Teacher from Pedley. Daniel Lipnitz, from Special Education Teacher at Mission Middle. Carl Staggard, School Psychologist at Del Sol Academy. Amalia Uola, Counselor at Jurupa Middle School. Rachel Weeks, Teacher at at Miraloma Middle School. And Jose Campos, the Director of Parent Involvement and Community Outreach. Thank you and congratulations to all of our staff recognized tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. And thank you to all those recognized tonight. We're very proud of you, and it's an honor for us to recognize you here tonight. Okay, on to 2B, recognize CORE's 2019 Academic Growth Awards. Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. CORE is an organization made up of California school districts, and their Academic Growth Awards honor schools having the greatest impact on student achievement. At schools with high academic growth, students consistently make academic gains faster than similar students at similar schools. The Academic Growth Awards are unique because they recognize acceleration of student achievement by accounting for how much each individual learns over time, rather than just comparing test scores from year to year. We are proud to announce the following Jurupa schools are receiving this honor, and if you happen to be from one of those schools, please stand while we applaud. For 1 year of high impact in the 17-18 school year, Granite Hill Elementary School in mathematics. Jurupa Valley High School in mathematics. Pacific Avenue Academy of Music in ELA. Peralta Elementary School in ELA. And Stone Avenue Elementary School in ELA. Congratulations to our high-achieving schools.
Thank you, Mr. Dabrowski, and to all the schools. Fantastic. Great work. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to more success in the future. Okay, 2B, recognize... Central Office Administrator of the Year, Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. The Western Riverside County Association of School Managers, or RACSM, and the Association of California School Administrators, or ACSA, will honor students, administrators, and community organizations for their achievements and dedication to public education at their awards and scholarship dinner on April 10th. The board and administration would like to congratulate our very own Ilsa Garza Gonzalez, Director of Administrative Services, for being selected the Central Office Administrator of the Year. The award recognizes her outstanding performance and achievement, her strong support for the school management teams, exceptional leadership in managing school programs, commitment to educational quality and student achievement, commitment to professional growth, and creativity and innovation in dealing with issues and problems facing public education. Congratulations, Mrs. Garza Gonzalez.
Congratulations, Ms. Garza Gonzalez. I know this list is much longer than that, so we appreciate everything you do. Okay, 2D, Recognized Model SARB Award, Mr. Dabrowski.
Okay, another word, same department. Jurupa Unified School District's School Attendance Review Board, or SARB, headed by Sandra Amatrian, CWA Coordinator, and Ilsa Garza Gonzalez, Director of Administrative Services, has been recognized, again, as a model SARB by the California Department of Education. Schools are allowed to be recognized every other year, and this is their third section, so it's 6 years in a row that they have been recognized as a model SARB. That program identifies and recognizes results-based school attendance improvement programs at the district or county level that are outstanding and innovative programs that will serve as models for other SARBs in California. Jurupa was selected as a model SARB for its exemplary prevention, early identification, and intervention strategies, as well as detailed goals and objectives. The recognition ceremony will take place on April 19th at the State Conference of the California Association of Supervisors of Child Welfare and Attendance. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Amatrain, and Ms. Ilsa Garza Gonzalez again. On to number 2E, Recognized National School Bus Drivers Day. Mrs. Ford.
In April, we have the opportunity to celebrate National School Bus Drivers Recognition Day, recognizing and honoring our dedicated bus drivers and their contribution to our students. The board is invited to celebrate food, festivities, and our outstanding bus drivers on April 23rd, on Tuesday, at 9 o'clock in the Transportation Department. So we hope you all can come out and celebrate our bus drivers.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Okay, on to board member comments. Mrs. Regal, start with you.
Congratulations to the best of the best. We're blessed to have you and to stay diligent in making sure our students achieve and succeed. There's so much gratitude in that, and thank you all. Also, Ilsa, too. Thank you. I see your name a lot. When I walked by you and somebody mentioned your name, I felt a little rude. I'm sorry that I didn't realize it was you, but you're a busy lady. And to see these awards, it doesn't surprise me. So congratulations. And a couple other things that I want to be up. Over the past couple of weeks, the board attended the RCCD joint meeting, and it was very insightful. Ms. Pace is really involved into having our students starting college early and get into some courses before they actually graduate high school. So thank you to the team that really is committed to that, and as well as RCCD. Last week, we attended the technology meeting. Josh, oh my goodness, there are so many things that the technology team really is committed to driving and improving our systems throughout the district and within the classroom. I understand Melissa Garcia has built a lot of programs from the ground up, and that's pretty amazing. People don't understand the coding or even what one little tweak could actually do to the system. So it's great to see that she also takes her own initiative to attend other classes independently. That's it's appreciated. Thank you. Saturday, I don't know if you had seen anything on social media, but we had 4 students that submitted artwork through Reach Out and Healthy Jurupa Valley. They were able to complete some murals, and Saturday they did the install, these selfie walls. So Abril, Thais, Jasmine, and Charlie, if you ever get a chance, go down on Mission in Rubidoux and you can take a selfie. They have a little hashtag so that when you share them on social media, they can gain some momentum to having more people to come down there. They're absolutely beautiful. There's a butterfly wall. We got love and a cave wall look, and then it's the octa elephant, but it's pretty cool. It's an elephant that has many trunks. So if you guys can get down there and just take some pictures or selfies, it's pretty darn cool. And also I want to thank that Mrs. Stewart from Rubidoux High School and Mr. Barnes from Patriot High School really invested in our students and came down and helped them with painting and kind of let them use their imagination with some, minimal guidance, but also encouragement to express themselves in their own style. So it was really cool. And then Mr. Burr, I saw him sneak out of here, but I wanted to thank him for coming down on Saturday, and he spent some time with these students and with community members as they revealed those walls. And we know that the vice principals are really busy, but he took that time on Saturday with a shirt and tie. I was quite impressed, but really great. So if you get down there, go check them out. That's all I have today.
Thank you, Mrs. Regal. Mrs. Chart.
Well, I'd like to congratulate all of our best of the best. We have quite a resume there of our our January, February, March winners. And I know that the resumes on the ones that got honorable mention are just as good. We so appreciate everything that our teachers and our crossing guards, the bilingual tutors, everybody, we appreciate everything that they do for the kids. And I know the kids appreciate it too. There are some of them that those are the go-tos for them when they have a problem because they don't have a working family home, and so they appreciate you also. And I wish them monthly ones, good luck for the end of the year. It's going to be quite a group of people vying for that prize. I think it's the Mission Inn, something that has been. I think that's what it is again. So good luck to all of you. Also, I would like to congratulate the schools that were honored by the Corps. That's quite an honor. For you to be recognized, and each time we have new ones recognized in this, it's makes us proud up here as a board that we know that we've got people out there that are doing a wonderful job, and it's being recognized by the public too. Congratulations also to Ilsa Gonzalez for your award for the West Riverside Council of whatever that is, Arcasa, that long initials, and from AXA too, and also our SARB, our model SARB. I think that's been recognized before. I think we have a really good SARB program. I've seen it in action when I was at Einar Arbuckle, and it is just outstanding. It has gotten better every year, and it really helps to keep our students in school and gets the parents involved in making sure their kids stay in school and to get their education. And then National School Bus Drivers Day. If you see a bus driver on that day, on the 23rd, or any day, wave to them and say thank you, because they are the people that take care of your children from home to school and back. They put up with a lot on those buses, whether they're doing a regular school day or whether they're doing a field trip. It's a lot of work, and you have to have a lot of patience, but they do it because they love the children, not because they have to. So I think that's all. Oh, I did attend. I had an opportunity this year to go to CABE, which I just went for one day. They had a symposium for board members and administrators, and it was quite interesting. They had a luncheon, but they had a workshop before, and a couple of districts in Orange County put on what they have found that is a good program, and we're trying to stress to everyone to try and join that and maybe work that into theirs, or see what we can do to improve the help for the bilingual students and students that need the help. I'm sorry, I'm not thinking well tonight. I'm not feeling really well. But it was a good program, and it was very interesting to hear some of the statistics. They had done a lot of work, and their programs are working, and they had the information to prove that. So it was quite interesting. Thank you for allowing us to go. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Chard. Mrs. Bradford.
First, I have a question, Jasmine. Hello. What was the last comment that you made on your report? I didn't get all of it, and it sounded really interesting.
Our rally?
Was that the
spring
last
rally?
one?
Yeah, is there? Yes, yeah. it
Could you
was.
repeat that, please?
Yeah,
Or if you want me to go on and then you'll finish
No,
it.
I got
Okay.
it. I just was figuring out where it started. Oh, as well as the spring rally, which is in less than a month. The preparations for our rally are already being worked on. The theme we have chose is Falcons Soaring Through California. And this will consist
And
of...
what through California?
No, Falcons Soaring Through
that's
California.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then, it will consist of falcons being placed at different well-known locations as if we were on tour.
Oh, that's so fun. That's
Yeah,
kind of like...
it's like something different, like completely different than what we've done before because, like we're gonna recognize sports more. Like they're all gonna have a different location.
It reminds me of that story about Flat Stanley.
The paper.
Yes, one of your teachers will remind you of it soon. I heard the murmur of approval out there. Okay, thank you. Sorry to place you on the spot there for a minute there. Okay. Oh gosh, why does it always? Okay, first I see Principal Corbin out there. Congratulations on the recognition and thank you for taking care of JVHS. And also, why is it the principals are sitting in the back rows? Isn't that interesting? Principal Schmalak, thank you so much for leading the Peralta Pandas onto additional recognition. I loved that school. I had so much fun there. And let's see, who was from Granite Hill? I thought so. Okay, thank you, and congratulations. I'm just so excited about Granite Hill and seeing you sitting next to Karina. It makes me, I really, you're one of my favorites. I say that about everybody, but you're really, really one of my favorites. To the best of the best recipients who are still here, I was so excited to be, thank you, Robert, for appointing me to that committee, to see what peers say about each other. And what really impressed me was Brandon Burr, Mr. Bowtie, greeting each person with a hello. I mean, what a way to start the morning. The same way I feel about our school bus drivers. Just saying hello at the beginning of a day sets the tone, showing that they care about our students, and I wave at school bus drivers and crossing guards all the time. And then the proverbial, but not least, Mrs. Garza Gonzalez. I admire you so much for the work that you do. I can't imagine the emotions that you go through in your regular work day that I think would break my heart or want me to mother everybody, but for all of the, and I still call them students. I call them children. I'm training myself to students, but thank you for taking care of our babies and making a difference in their vulnerable little lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Bradford. Ms. Ortega.
Thank you. Yeah, I too want to commend and congratulate all the recognized. I attended also the Agave conference this past weekend, and it was just incredible to see the stories of students going up there and just speaking about how not only teachers but the person in the bus stop or whatnot have been able to impact their life, and have also one of the presenters, one of the student presenters was talking about, she's in her senior year, and she was talking about how if she wouldn't have gone to study another language and be focused and immersed in that language, her grief of losing her mother through cancer wouldn't have been the same. So just stories like that are very impactful. And to summarize, what I take from that Agave conference conference is that all of us can make a difference, and it really takes a community to make an impact on our students. So each one of you, has done that for our students. So I appreciate that very much. And also wanted to congratulate our student board member, Camille, who has been accepted to, most of the schools that she has applied for, and will make us very proud to wherever you decide to go. And I thank both of you ladies for being here again. You're starting school and it can get very late, but thank you for sacrificing your time and spending it with us tonight. So that's it. And then another event, or very eventful event that we went to was Pique last week, it was, or 2 weeks ago. And it was really nice. It's also very humbling to see how parents are getting even more involved. And I know President Garcia always talks about parent engagement and participation. And I think just seeing it with your own eyes, and us as a district being able to, set a tone and environment to invite them and continue that growth was very, very humbling experience for me. I wasn't able to stay to give out the ceremonies, but I know trusted that Trustee Regal had done that, and President Garcia. So those events, again, also are very enlightening to me to see that, again, it takes a community, it takes parents, it takes a bus driver, it takes a janitor, it takes each and one of us to create the achievement of students, and I'm very humbled and proud to be a part of this district. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega. And just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, those of you here today, educators, staff members, I know you all have you play an instrumental part in our students, but it also takes parents, and as Ms. Ortega mentioned, the parent involvement for quality education. It's really, you get to see the parents are learning some things they don't know, and learning how to get involved and how to talk to other parents about involvement. And it's just so important. And, we see it in society these days. Parent involvement is so important. And if you ask a teacher, or anybody, if you ask yourself, if you had 20 students in your class, and each one of those parents was an equal partner in their education, and you had each other's back, that would certainly increase academic achievement, social behaviors, and all those types of things. And so that's why I think it's so important, these parent involvement programs, especially like PK, the parents get up and talk about their experiences, so we get to learn a lot. And Ms. Ortega does a good speech, both in Spanish and in English, so she's our keynote speaker, as she did Jurupa Valley last year as well, so I appreciate her for that. And I appreciate you too, Ms. Ortega, for your position on CABE. That's, you represent our district there with that organization. And that's all I have for tonight, until later. So, okay, let's move on. Number 4, public verbal comments. I have one card here. Let me just, my glasses. Sasha Parker, please come forward.
Ready? All right. Hi there, my name is Sasha Parker, and I'm a junior at Jurupa Valley High School, and I'm the youngest child of 2 educators in the district. I would like to address a few concerns that I, as well as others, have that need to be fixed and hopefully be taken into consideration to better not only the district, but be better for the students and educators as well. My first point is communication, and I would like to address this one and my next point a lot more in detail, but there's not enough time. So, one part of communication, it needs to be improved from the district to the admins at the school and from the admins to the teachers. Many adults are not aware of what is going on, especially in regards to emergency situations such as the lockdown at JBHS a couple weeks ago. The board should really visit the campuses more and not get only the students' opinion, but especially the educators' opinion as well. My second point is discipline and safety, because educators would probably agree with me on this. Within our district, discipline is very inconsistent at best and non-existent at worst, which is typical if you ask students or teachers. The punishments are not the same within different parts of the students, whether they're involved or not. And suspending students from a student perspective just kind of gives them a vacation and they don't really get anything out of it. The perception of what is happening or isn't happening is a big problem which makes students and staff feel unsafe. My third and final point is funds, which really applies to me since I'm involved. There's no equal treatment of funds to different programs and or organizations of the schools. All students want to feel support from admin and district personnel. It encourages the kids to work harder when they are appreciated by people from up top. But as everything in this world, things cost money. The students should not have to pay out of their own pocket for their program, as well as the teacher, such as being told there's no money for a bucket of paint, so the teacher or students need to raise money for these supplies. Yet other programs or activities have, seemingly to the students' eyes, unlimited budgets, such as sports or STEM. Many people use our humble little theater at JVHS from on-campus organizations such as AVID, Admin, Theater, Choir, Band, to those off-campus like Rubito Choir, District Office, Congressman Takano. Yet our theater is not up to the standards that it should be, given that it is 30 years old. The seats are very dirty, and we're not sure if they've ever been cleaned, and many are actually breaking when students sit in them. And we've requested that they at least be cleaned and have not gotten any communication back on that, which only goes to show to the students' eyes that how little the district seems to care about the programs that many students do care about. It would be great if the district could come support and value the arts programs the same way that they value the CTE and athletic areas. And the best way to start doing this is to put more money into the facilities and programs that are not properly funded. The district motto is learning without limits, yet there are limits to a lot of different events, functions, and actions of organizations. Top district personnel seem to get raises when students, programs, especially the arts, and even the teachers are going without. I do hope you take what I say into consideration, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sasha, and I wrote some notes here, and I'll hand those over to Mr. Deshawn. But I do want you to know that, the district is aware of some of the things you mentioned, especially the theater and some long-term plans there. But I want to thank you for coming and bringing those to our attention, so I appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Now, I have no other cards, but if anyone else would like to speak to the board or have a comment, welcome you right now. All right, thank you. We'll move on. Item number 5, administrative reports and written communications. 5A, accept initial bargaining proposal from CSEA Jurupa 392. Mr. Brooks.
Earlier tonight, the board reviewed in closed session the negotiations proposal from CSEA Jurupa 392 for negotiations with the district. This proposal is being publicized at this time in order to permit public comments at the verbal hearing session that will be held at the regular board meeting on April 15th, our next board meeting. Copy of the proposal is included in the backup materials.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. 5B, announce initial district proposal for negotiations with CSEA Jurupa 392. Mr. Brooks.
So similarly, the board reviewed in closed session earlier tonight the district's preliminary proposal for reopener negotiations with CSEA Jurupa 392. If the board is prepared, this proposal will be publicized at this time in order to permit public comments, again at the verbal hearing session at the next board meeting on April 15th. And again, a copy of the proposal is in the backup materials.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. 5C, review schedule for 2018-2019 awards and graduation ceremonies. Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. You have the dates and times for the award ceremonies, promotions, and graduations for the end of the year.
Thank you. 5D, review 2019 graduation ceremony assignments. Mr. Dabrowski.
So you have in your backup materials the graduation assignments.
Thank you. And on last 5E, other administrative reports and written communications. Mr. Deshawn.
I just have one. I have a piece of paper in front of me, excuse me, that is to re-elected and reappointed members of CSBA Delegate Assembly. So I just wanted to acknowledge that our board president has been re-elected to the CSBA's Delegate Assembly and will be attending their first meeting soon, I think. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Deshawn, and I'd like to thank my fellow board members and board members everywhere for voting for me. I think it's really important work. I think there's 300, and it says in here somewhere, 370 board members out of 5,000 board members in California that belong to the delegate assembly. So it's kind of a small group, and we get to work on legislative issues and affecting education. So I look forward to continuing that. And our first meeting is May 18th. So bring back something in June. All right. On to the action session. If you would please refresh your screens. All right, here we are to the action session. Item A, approve and adopt routine action items by consent.
Move to approve.
I have a
Motion by
question.
Ms. Ortega.
I would like to one item removed
Okay,
to vote separately.
which item would that be?
That is line item 23, case number 19089.
Right down at 2023. Let's see. Ms. Ortega, would you like to amend your motion?
Amend motion.
Do we need to actually? Okay, so your motion is to accept items A through 22 and 24 through 30. Correct? Ms. Ortega?
Yes.
Actually, item 23 has two cases, so it's only one of the cases in 23.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Riegel, why don't you make the motion?
Okay, so
Okay.
it's 1 through 30 minus one of the cases on line item 23, which is case number 19089. Is that correct? Is that how I say it?
Does that work?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ortega. Okay. Any questions or comments on those? Okay, let's call for the vote, please. Okay. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, on to item A23. Which case was that again, Ms. Riegel? Mrs. Riegel, what was the case number you wanted to pull out?
19089.
Okay, so, okay, I need a motion to accept A23, case number 19-089.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Ortega. I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
Okay, call for the vote, please. We really can't discuss these are closed session items, okay? So call for the vote, please. Okay, motion passes 3-1-1. Correct? Okay. All right. So on to item B. Award contract for White Fleet, sorry.
Actually, I think the other item in number 20 in 23, item case number 19078, I don't think we voted on that. Was it included in? Oh, okay, just didn't say it. Okay, never mind.
Thank you, Mr. Dabrowski, for keeping us honest. Okay, item B, award contract for White Fleet vehicle leases. Mrs. Ford.
As part of the district's ongoing White Fleet Vehicle Lease Program, administration is requesting approval to return or trade in 19 current leased vehicles and 10 district-owned white vehicles, and lease one additional vehicle through Enterprise Fleet Management for the 2019-20 school year. The net increase to the lease program is estimated to be $62,000 per year. We'll know that once the trade-in values are actually determined through the sale with Enterprise. The lease program is through the Sourcewell piggyback bid, and this is a 5-year lease program and will be paid using a combination of restricted routine maintenance funds, general fund, and home-to-school transportation funds. And you have a small chart in your annotation that outlines the vehicles. Administration recommends the board approve the return or trade-in of 29 vehicles and the 5-year lease of 30 vehicles from Enterprise Fleet Management for a total amount of approximately $863,235.90. That's over the 5 years.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Ortega. Second by Mrs. Chard. Any questions or comments? I just wanted to comment, Ms. Chard, Mrs. Ford, sorry. I just took a quick look. I'm looking at it right now, but I saw there was a substantial savings there, and I want to thank you and your team for coming up with this new, whatever you call it, trade-off lease deal.
It's definitely a team. Mr. Lewis does a great job, and Mr. Tolan also was very, he's not here, but he's very instrumental in making sure that we're making good decisions on our vehicles.
Thank you. All right.
I had
Mrs.
a
Chard?
question. Is this something new, or have we done this in the past when we've leased vehicles and then trade them in or refinance them or whatever?
We started this actually 5 years ago, so this is the first year that we have some of the leased vehicles coming up for renewal. So yes, it is fairly new, us getting into it, but we have good vehicles that are reliable. This includes our white vans that we have for our students.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0.
President Garcia, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am?
Maybe I'm not comprehending tonight or something, I don't know. I don't quite understand how we voted on number 23. It had two parts to it, and I thought we only voted on one part of it. Is the other tabled until a future?
Mrs. Collins?
The way I saw it on the board was we voted on 1 through 22 and then 24 through 30. And then we came back and voted on 1.
With the exception of the one case, the 089, and we did a second vote to accept 089. That's the one that had the 3-1.
Okay.
I think Mrs. Chard just got confused maybe when you saw it on the screen here. But yeah, so the motion was approve items A1 through 30 minus dash 089.
Well, that was the original one, but then when it came up for us to vote, it said 1 to 22 and 24 to 30.
No, originally we did pull 23 out, then we went back
Right.
and we went back to 1 through 30,
Right.
with the exception of 1908. So it was corrected.
Okay.
Then we had the second motion to only accept 1908.
Okay. It looked to me like it was not,
Yes,
the question was not set up right.
we started out with the original motion,
Right.
then we changed it what we thought this was.
I understand that.
And then we changed it again with what she was actually asking for her motion.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that it did reflect the
Yes.
proper
You'll see two motions.
motion, right?
The consent items.
Okay,
You're going to see two motions and two votes.
thank you very much for clarification.
All right. So we're on item C, award contract for Bainan Sports for Rubidoux High School Stadium rubberized track system replacement. Dr. Henson.
Administration is requesting approval to award a contract to Bainan Sports for the removal and replacement of a rubberized track system at Rubidoux High School Stadium. The existing track surface is at the end of its life cycle, and the scope of work includes removal and replacement of existing rubberized track and related track striping. And the pricing is based on California Multiple Award Schedule, a CMAS contract, and the proposals included in the backup materials. This contract will be paid for out of Community Facilities District proceeds. It is not a Measure EE project. So administration recommends this evening that the board award a contract to Bainan Sports for replacement of the rubberized track system in the Rubidoux High School Stadium in the amount of $509,571.
Thank you, Dr. Hanson.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Chard.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Regal. Any questions or comments? Okay, now I just have a comment, Dr. Hanson. I thought, again, with the CMAS, substantial savings from what it would normally cost, so I thought that was really a good use of funds. And I know the tracks needed some help for a while, so I'm sure that's going to be good. All right, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item D, award contract to Field Turf USA, Inc. for Rubidoux High School Stadium artificial turf replacement. Dr. Hanson.
This is the second portion of that project, so it's a track and a field turf replacement at Rubidoux High School. Again, the copy of the proposal is included in backup materials, this as well as the CMAS contract. Administration recommends that the board award a contract to Field Turf USA for replacement of artificial turf at the Rubidoux High School Stadium in the amount of $555,456. And again, this is a non-Measure EE project. This is being paid for out of the Community Facilities District proceeds in that area.
Thank you, Dr. Hanson. Questions or comments, sir? Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Chard.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Regal. Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mrs. Chard.
In there, I saw where it says that the logo. What logo is going to be? Is it the end zones or is it on the center of the field?
It's both. So the end zones will have Rubidoux Falcons, and the center field logo is the crest that they've selected.
Have we started that at the other high schools? Did we do that at Jurupa Valley?
Jurupa Valley, yeah, they chose their own logo, but I think it's a Jaguar in the midfield.
I think that's very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Ortega, do you have a comment? No. Anybody else? The only comment I had, Dr. Hanson, so they're going to hand sew these things together. Is that what they normally do, or?
Yeah, the field, the lines and all the logos, those are all separate pieces of turf that are sewn together, and then it's laid out kind of like carpet on top of sand and compacted soil. And then they put rubberized pellets on top to kind of lift the fibers up so it appears as grass is standing. And both contracts, it's important to note that they include a maintenance program. So that maintenance contract will include two, essentially the company coming out twice a year for 8 years. So there'll be 16 visits. And what they'll do is comb the field and put in new pellets as those start to become diminished over time, just to make sure that the field stays in good shape over the next 8 years. The fields typically last anywhere between 8 and 10 years. We're hoping to get 10 to 12 out of it. That's currently the Rubidoux field is 12 years old. So.
Is this a new turf, or is it the same one we used at Jurupa Valley?
It's the same turf that we used at Jurupa Valley. Yeah, newer than what's there now, obviously, because there were 12 years. Technology has changed, but it's essentially the same field that's at Jurupa Valley.
Does it make them go faster and score more touchdowns?
I cannot either confirm nor deny that.
But is it safer?
Tilt the field just a little bit.
It's safer though on the body for the kids that are playing
Right.
out there. I mean, I know that's been a big controversy on these new turfs that are going in.
Yeah, I mean, they've backed it all. So there's been plenty of research on turf fields, and what we're seeing is a lot of the fields are now being replaced to turf fields. They're getting away from the natural turf.
Okay. Thank you.
And also, when we did Jurupa Valley, it was just remember there was some concern about the fill,
You're right.
but I know that we took care of that. So it's the same stuff at Rubidoux.
Yeah, same stuff. They've done tons of tests on the rubberized surface to make sure that there's no contaminants or anything in there. So.
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item E, approve 2019 Special Education Summer School Program, grades K through 12. Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. At the last meeting, you approved the General Education High School Summer School Program, and as promised, now we have the Special Education K-12 program for you. It will be held at Sky Country and Peralta Elementaries, as well as at the 3 high schools, and the dates and times are listed. We recommend that you approve the 2019 Special Education Summer School Program, grades K-12.
Thank you.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ortega,
Second.
second by Mrs. Regal. Any questions or comments? Okay, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item F, approve new high school course plans. Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. We have 3 new course requests for you tonight. There is Honors Spanish 1, Honors Spanish 1 for native speakers, and Honors French 1. These are all designed to provide a higher rigor level of introductory language course for both regular and native speakers. There is one correction that needs to be made in the supporting documents for the Honors Spanish 1 native. There's a box check that said repeat for credit yes, and that should have been no. That box indicates students can continue to take the class like band, where they might take the same class for several years and get credit for it each time, and it's not designed to do that. So we would ask you to vote with that correction for Honors Spanish 1 regular, Honors Spanish 1 native, and Honors French 1 regular.
Thank you.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ortega,
Second.
second by Mrs. Regal. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I have a question.
Ms. Chard.
Have we had honors Spanish 1 before?
We have not.
Do we have AP?
We do.
We do.
And this is for those students that are really working towards getting to AP Spanish. This provides them a little higher level course, so it'll be students who have a decent GPA and demonstrate a willingness and an interest to move beyond just the 2 years of Spanish that might be the A through G requirement.
Well, I know when we were meeting with our CCD, they were saying that some students take AP classes and they can't get into the college, or they can't use it at the college of their choice. So this will benefit our students that are, say, going to junior college or to a college that doesn't accept the AP, right?
Well, yes, although, these will just be honors classes at the high school. They won't have college credit attached to them or anything like that. But it's a higher level of course with a higher expectation for our motivated students, so it will help to prepare them for college level workload.
Are they going to have a prerequisite? Well, the native ones, naturally, they would, but the regular one,
Yeah,
would they have to have, say, Spanish in junior high?
No, they will not have, because it'll still be Spanish 1.
Okay.
They'll have to have a decent GPA and demonstrate a commitment, like sign a contract that they're willing to handle the additional rigor of an honors course. And then for the native, there would be a language test to make sure that they have some level of expressive and receptive Spanish.
What other languages do we offer in honors course at our high schools?
We do not have any other honors
Spanish.
language courses at this point.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question about the French honors. So how long have we been teaching French in the high schools?
Quite a while.
I thought Patriot went through a stint where they didn't have French for a while, wasn't there? I think there was 2.
Each of the schools, depending on what teachers they had, Patriot had Italian for a while. It depends on what staff you have available to teach different languages. This particular class was brought forward by Rubidoux. So they have both French and Spanish, and they were the ones looking to, although once it becomes part of the course guide, it's potentially available at any school when there's staffing and the ability to offer the program.
And so we'll have enough students that will lead into that direction of taking the honors?
They believe that they will. The first year will be a bit of an experiment to see how much interest is there and whether that'll be a viable option. But they believe that there's enough interest, and they've spoken to enough incoming 9th graders that would be interested in taking the course.
And so we're promoting these languages as well as honors. Honors will go for sophomores if they started their freshman year, right? Or no, these are 1, correct?
These are Spanish 1, so
with the
you might be freshmen. I mean, certainly a sophomore who did not take language last year could take
but
a
the
Spanish course their sophomore
middle
year.
schools were kind of making sure that they're aware of these opportunities.
Yes, the high schools go down and promote to their feeder middle school and talk about their pathways and their options and their offerings, and they'll be promoting it at that time.
Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Deschamps?
I wanted to clarify the issue of colleges not accepting AP. Because I think RCCD's point of view was that when students take an RCC class, it's accepted at any college as a transfer, whereas AP classes, no matter what the score, what the grade, it's up to the college. And UC, for example, has I think a pretty standard policy that if it's in your major, it doesn't count. So if you're majoring in history, you took AP history, you still have to take whatever the prerequisite history course is. So it doesn't have to do with the rigor of our course. It has to do with the college policy. And honors classes are never accepted, at least that I know of, for college credit. They're meant to be higher rigor to prepare kids for the AP classes. It's a strange world in college credits.
Yeah, and Mrs. Jordan, my daughter went to Cal Poly Pomona. They were still on the quarter system, and so she got like 2 quarters and not 3, not quite a full year, like calculus, I think. So it's kind of different, a little bit different. Okay.
That's what they were trying to tell us, was that there's an advantage to going to the junior college.
Yeah.
Before you was the one.
That was the
was
point.
basically what they were trying
Yeah.
to point out.
Any other questions, comments? All right, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item G, adopt resolution number 2019/29, authorization to encumber funds for the following fiscal year. Mrs. Ford.
Believe it or not, we're at that time of the year already. So in order to prepare for the 2019-20 school year, the district and schools may need to order materials prior to the start of the new fiscal year. The Riverside County Office of Education requires the board adopt a resolution that authorizes the district to commit funds before the approval of the 2019-20 budget. Administration recommends the board adopt resolution number 2019/29, authorization to encumber funds for the 19-20 fiscal year.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ortega,
Second?
second by Mrs. Chard. Any questions or comments? Nope. Okay, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item H, adopt resolution number 2019/30, year-end budget transfers/revisions. Mrs. Ford.
And as another part of the annual process, Mrs. Benson and her staff have begun the process of closing the financial records for the 2018-19 fiscal year. Once all revenues and expenditures are accrued, staff may need to process transfers in various funds to balance accounts. This doesn't require any additional expenditures. However, an account budget that may have a negative balance may be revised by transferring an appropriate expenditure to an account with a positive balance, allowing the district to meet all legal requirements within those funds. Administration recommends the board adopt resolution number 2019/30, resolution for year-end budget transfers and revisions.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Motion by Mrs. Chard, second by Mrs. Regal. Any questions or comments?
I have
Mrs.
a question. Mrs. Ford, you said that the charge would be moved to an account that has funds in it.
Correct.
Why isn't it done the other way, that you transfer something to?
There are some where you can't transfer the actual funds, but you can transfer an expenditure. So if there's been an expense in a particular fund, we may need to keep the funds balanced.
Right.
With the amount of money that was budgeted there, but an expenditure from one fund can be transferred to another.
But not the other way around.
But not the other way around.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Item I, adopt resolution number 2019/31, authorizing the issuance of 2019/20 tax revenue anticipation notes. Mrs. Ford.
Based on the governor's proposed budget for 2019-20, the district is currently projecting deficit spending, which decreases the district's general fund balance and reduces the cash available to fund daily operations. At this time, the district cash expenditures are projected to outpace revenues for the first 5 months of the 2019-20 fiscal year. In the absence of adequate cash reserves, the district may not have enough cash to meet daily operational needs. A trans or a tax revenue anticipation note is a short-term note where school districts are able to borrow funds for 1 year, so we have to pay those funds back within the year. And it's basically just to alleviate cash flow concerns. The adoption of this resolution does not obligate the district to participate in a tran, but it does allow the district to maintain the option, and we would have to go in, you have to allow time for that to happen. And so since it's the first 5 months, we would want to be able to exercise that option in July. So in order to do that, we needed to bring this resolution forward to the board. The resolution authorizes the Assistant Superintendent of Business to make the decision on the trans total at the time of issuance. So we're estimating that we would not exceed $20 million for the trans. That's about 1.5 payrolls. And so that's what we're looking at, is in order to be able to make our payroll. And again, this does not say that we're going to actually issue the tran. This just gives us the option to do it in the event that we need to do so. So administration recommends the board adopt resolution number 2019/31, authorizing the issuance of 2019-20 tax revenue anticipation notes in an amount not to exceed $20 million.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Chard,
Second.
second by Ms. Ortega. Any questions or comments? Ms. Bradford?
Mrs. Ford, how often does this happen?
That's my question.
We haven't had to do, the last time I looked back to see when was 2014-15. And we actually, at that time, brought forward the option to do a trans, but we didn't have to take it out. So, but we did during the lean years when when the economy was not doing well and we were getting deferrals from the state. We had to take actually a beginning year tran and a mid-year tran because the state was deferring our revenue every single month. So again, this is just an option for us, but we have not indicated we're actually going to trigger that at this point.
How usual or unusual is this in a district's operations? Not necessarily ours, but is it common?
It's not unusual.
Yeah. It's a fairly common practice, and the first time I had dealt with it as a business manager was, I think, in 2002. In that year, the state actually deferred payments to a further fiscal year, which everybody thought was illegal. Probably was. It certainly couldn't be accounted for under government accounting standards, but they did it anyway. So districts almost at that time, almost every district had to go out and do this. So unfortunately, it's a cottage business.
Any other comments? Ms. Riegel?
I have a couple. So you're saying that's going to cover 1.5 months of payroll?
Correct. Yeah, a month of payroll runs between $13 and $14 million.
Okay, and then, but I thought there was something in one of the 42 pages that said something about needing to cover multiple months. So is the 20 million, if it's going to cover 1.5, but you're going to need multiple months?
Well,
if we need it.
Right, so the first 5 months, the cash flow is continually going down, is what we're projecting now, to a point where we may be short to be able to make the payroll in a given month. Not every month, but in that last of the 5th month or whatever it might be, then that's when we're looking at a dip in our actual cash reserves. So we would need then the TRAN at that point to be able to make payroll, and then we would start seeing revenue come back in from the state, and we would then be able to pay back the TRAN and start making the payments back.
And we're confident that the state is going to give the money back that they were holding?
Yes, yes. Well, yes. At this point,
You never know,
at this point, yes. There's nothing to say at this point that the state is going to go into any kind of deferrals. We haven't had an inkling of that anywhere on the radar. So,
and what's the cost of the loan?
The estimated cost that they gave us right now is 2%. However, that will be dependent on the market at the time that we actually move forward, or if we were to move forward on the trans. It'll depend on what the market.
2% for the entire loan?
Yes.
So we're looking at about $400,000.
Mm-hmm. If we were to take out the entire 20 million, which we don't have to, we could take out a smaller amount. If we only needed 10 million to be able to make the payroll, then we would only take out the 10 million.
Okay, and then you'll determine that at the time?
Correct. Once we have a better idea of how we're going to end the year, and again, we're having to do this, we have to do it almost, 4 or 5 months ahead of time. So depending on how we end the year, we may have enough reserves to be able to not have to do it at all.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, let's call for the vote, please. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, item J, approve personnel matters. J1, adopt revised employee work schedule. work year schedule for the 2019/2020 and 2020/2021 school years. Mr. Brooks.
During the board meeting on March 11th, employee work year schedules for the 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 school years were adopted. Those employee work year schedules are being recommended to the board tonight for revision in order to ensure that payroll cycles for certain members of the certificated bargaining unit do not change as a result of those assigned work years. The revised employee work year schedules for 2019-2020 and 2020-2021, as included in the backup materials, will maintain the current payroll cycles for all groups and classifications of employees. And so administration is recommending that the board adopt the revised employee work year schedules for the 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 school years. And again, as with those previously adopted work year schedules, necessary meet and confer negotiations with both CSEA and NEA Jurupa have occurred.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bradford,
Second.
second by Ms. Ortega. Any questions or comments? Okay, let's call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. J2, adopt revised academic school calendars for 2019/2020 and 2020/2021. Mr. Brooks.
So again, the academic school year calendars, in this case for 2019-2020 and 2020-2021, were adopted at our last board meeting, and the school year calendars have been revised in order to align with the employee work year calendars that were just adopted. And the copies are included here in the backup materials, and each of these was reviewed with CSEA and with NEA Jurupa. Necessary meet and confer negotiations have occurred on these, and administration recommends that the board adopt the revised academic school year calendars for the next 2 school years.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ortega,
Second.
second by Mrs. Chard. Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mrs. Bradford.
Why does school start in August instead of September anymore?
You know, that change happened many years ago.
I noticed it before then.
Sure.
I just haven't thought to ask until now.
This board, actually, none of the members sitting here made that decision. I want to say, I remember the board meeting, was it 2009? It was a long time ago. It was, I actually think it was before that. It's been a long time. And other districts have kind of followed that. There was a lot of discussion as to who it would benefit and why. There was some thoughts it would give more benefit to kids taking AP classes because you'd have more school before the test on the class. It's a matter of choice. You have boards going back and forth on this.
The other benefit was the ability to end the first semester at Christmas time, rather than when in the old calendar, students would go away to Christmas for 2 weeks, come back, and then there'd be like a week or 2 weeks left before finals, and it was, there's a lot of information lost in your head in the 2 weeks of Christmas, and so ending the first semester at the Christmas break was also a goal. They actually at the year that it changed, there was a committee made up of staff members and parents, and they really took a look at the issues and tried to make the best student-centered decision.
That makes a lot more sense than keeping the kids out in the fields with the threshing crews until the harvest gets in.
No, I was going to say the same thing, Mr. Dabrowski. I know I looked into this last year. Sometimes I do. I go back years to look at agendas. And I did see there was a committee of parents and administrators, and it was kind of what the community thought was best. It wasn't just, someone decided to change that. But anyway.
Actually,
I think it was
I like it
2007,
because the
between-
kids are going to be inside in the air conditioning. and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, call for the vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Our last item, item K, board member committee reports. Start with you, Ms. Ortega.
No reports, just a comment on the mural that happened this weekend. I wasn't able to be there. I was out of town, but I drove by on Sunday, yesterday, and really nice, very, very beautiful experience, I think, for the community, but more especially for the students who were able to participate in doing that. And it brought a lot of memories back to me because I live 2 blocks away from there where the mural is at. And I remember when I was about 17 years old, I dreamt of having a convertible car. So when I bought my convertible car after, a little bit, I think 2 years when I was in college, I had to drive through Rubidoux Boulevard just to get that experience because I wanted to. So driving there yesterday was really nice experience, and just brought a lot of very good memories back because I grew up where gangs and violence was more popular than education, and it was really a difficult time for our community to stay involved in education because it was easier to get involved with violence and with drug dealing and all that stuff. So to give the opportunity to students for them to showcase their art and their talents, I think was a beautiful experience, and we thank Healthy Jurupa Valley and everybody who has been able to put that together. And I know that there's a Healthy Jurupa Extravaganza health fair that I think it's next weekend, if I'm not mistaken. That's also I have been attending that health conference and it's a health fest that Healthy Jurupa also puts together, and hopefully to be also able to attend. And besides that, I have no reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega. Mrs. Bradford.
My committee meeting, it seems like we just had a board meeting, doesn't it? But since then, I was on the Best of the Best selection committee, and as I said, I wish you could read the wonderful things that staff and teachers say about each other, the marvelous regard for professionalism, and some of the little quirky things like Brandon Burr's bow tie, inspiring others to be a little more sartorial. But above all, it's the common good for the children, doing the best we can for the district. And I wish the parents in this district could hear these comments and read what the others say about their co-workers. In addition to that, I was part of our joint meeting with the Riverside Community College's district special education session 2 weeks ago, where we sat here and as the next step in education at the community college district, we talked about how our programs work together and how we can better prepare our children for both our students, for both career and academic achievement. Let's see, what else? I toured Rubidoux High School with Superintendent Duchamp and Dr. Arax, and the impression that I got was that it was a warm, welcoming environment. So see what a legacy there is going on in our district. I'm really proud to be part of it. The students appeared to be happy and welcoming when we went into their classrooms too. And as the common experience, this is the little welcome for the mural unveiling, and it's going to be so much fun. So please do drive past there. You'll see on one side there will be silhouettes of people you know and can recognize. Don't you know who they are? As you drive east on Mission, the mural we're discussing is on the west side, and you can easily park in the parking lot of the Jimenez grocery store behind and have your selfie too. Melissa and I dragged Melissa up to the microphone because I wanted a part to say, these are our students. You know, we did not put on this event, we did not organize it, but they are our students, and also that they are our role models for the students and the children who were there. People just walking past to stop to see what's going on. There was food, there were helium balloons, it was a lot of fun. So in addition to that, I said not only are they expressing themselves in positive, healthy ways for other people, that they are practicing a skill for which there is a market. In addition to adding to the joy I feel when I drive past that corner. And there are kids.
Thank you, Mrs. Bradford. Mrs. Chard.
I just have a couple of things. I wanted to congratulate our president on his election to the Delegates Assembly. I know that you'll represent as well. And also, I wanted to let everyone know that Ina Arbuckle is hosting an open house on April 10th from 3 to 4 p.m. for you to see what the changes are, how the new school looks. The new school, I call it, the old school. And also, I have a CTE meeting coming up next week, and there's quite a few things. I don't have my calendar with me, but we have quite a few activities in April and May that the board will be attending. So, and if you get an opportunity to go to any of them, especially the ones that are at the schools when they're performing, please go and see the students show off their work, because they get excited about that when they have a crowd. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Mrs. Chard. Mrs. Regal.
Okay, one last thing about Jurupa Valley and Reach Out. I think we, as a district, could recognize Emily Fox, Amber Jones, and Diana Fox, because they're really the force that made all these happen, and they continue to visit our campuses to have that partnership and, you know, have the kids with different programs that work for them, but also beneficial to our community. So I really want to recognize those three ladies for their persistence within the community. April 8th, I've been invited to attend the President's Advisory meeting with Dr. Reese at RCC Norco. It's something that they host monthly, so I will take that up and start attending when possible during lunch. April 12th and 13th this month, I will be attending the Master in Governance, so I'll be covering the school finance and collective bargaining. Any way to maximize this role, I look forward to these classes. And then also, I'm not sure how to bring this up, but just something that I thought about my last course in Master in Governance is the more time that we spend talking about our district and, you know, the recognition programs are great. Is it possible that we table this or consider or recommend is, you know, really see what people are doing in the classrooms or on the campuses, you know, whether it's from the principal, the educators, the students, and even the classified employees, PTA, but something that we can have a segment at each meeting, but make sure that we're including that. It's, you know, we do have some talented people in our districts, and we thank them, but there's also people that are the force behind that program or some sort of service or initiative that they're doing. And it would just be great if we can include that possibly at the beginning of the meeting, somebody come forward with a presentation of whether it's a slideshow or a video or something that they're doing. It could be the club or something that we can hear within our district as the village and see what they're doing. And we want to hear from them directly.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Just don't forget it's April 1st and continue to smile, make people laugh. It's good for you.
Thank you, Mr. Regal.
I was going to say, if that's the board's pleasure, we could certainly schedule some of those and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know we do some things. I know we've had the Q students in here. So every now and then we do, and I think we could probably talk about that, I think that's a great idea. Mrs. Regal, I think, yeah. So maybe we'll work on that. Okay. All right, so I just have a couple of comments, I think. I missed the wall, too. I was busy at home, but I saw some of the photos, and they look fantastic. So I can't wait to go by there and take a selfie. But I wanted to just say one last thing. Denise Lopez, who was the field representative for Senator Roth, she just left his office, and she's going to be working for CSBA, California School Boards Association, as the Public Affairs and Community Engagement Representative. So I wanted to recognize her. She's done a lot for our district here with Senator Roth's office, and also worked really closely with Jose Campos and all those programs, whether it's getting students ready for college or any type of parent involvement program. So well deserved for her, and hopefully she'll be helping us out there with CSBA. And after that, that's it. Mr. Deshawn, any final words?
Yeah, it kind of struck me tonight as we were going through all the awards, how routine it gets sometimes, but how special they really are. All of the people that were recognized are just fantastic, outstanding, and some people get recognized. I don't want to even hold one above the other so often that we just come to accept that they get awards all the time, but it's really wonderful what happens in the district. I was going to comment on CABE. I think this was the first time that they've done that particular session for administrators and board members. I'm not sure, but it was a separate day, and I sat there actually quite proud. They were great presentations. I think all four were on dual immersion, and I was sitting, I actually asked Mr. Dabrowski to confirm if I was close to right, that we're, I think, on our 12th year of dual immersion. Our first class is now in 11th grade. Our 8th graders are taking AP classes at the high school, I believe, and having been around here for a while, this district has done so much for bilingual education, really not, and I don't want to say it's for our Spanish speakers, but it's for our kids to become conversant in both languages. We used to do what were called CBET classes. We offer a lot of adult education. Through PICO, we offer computer classes for all of our parents. PK is another place where parents get so involved. We've offered newcomer classes, now have dual immersion in 5 schools, 3 elementary, Jurupa Middle, and Patriot High School. And I think every year when we look at a lot of our top students, many of them were English language learners. And it struck me, this is actually several years ago, that when you look at things that count in life, I have never met a student who graduated from this district who couldn't speak English well. So our staff, our teachers, all with bilingual tutors who support them have done just a really incredible job with something that's very difficult, and that's learning a second language, becoming proficient in it. So they were great programs. I don't want to diminish what we heard about, but we've done pretty good here too, and we've had Martha Gomez, who's just done an incredible job building actually CABE up in this area many, many years ago, and also with I don't recall the organization, but there's one also for dual immersion. So it's always been something very much at the heart and soul of Jurupa Unified, is to help all of our children. And now we have many, many more languages that we're dealing with, some of which I can't even pronounce the name of the language, but as we become more international, so just comment.
Thank you, Mr. Duchamp, and thank you all for joining us. Meeting adjourned.